Hello everyone, my name is Laurie Mullen. I'm from Bloom Body, Mind, and Soul, and today I wanted to come on and talk to you about tonight's full moon in Pisces, which is also called the harvest moon, which is perfect because it's right around the fall equinox. This represents a time to collect our harvest, a time of completion, to sow what we seeded earlier on in March, April, May. So take a few minutes to think back about the things over the spring and summer that you planted or that you brought up for change or for examination, and look at how far you've come and what you've sown from those changes, right? So Pisces is a water sign. It's all about feeling and emotions. And the full moon is all about bringing to light what we cannot or are unwilling to see. So combined with Pisces and the full moon, this is a great time to look at why we feel the way we do, what feelings are coming up, and can we look deeper to see where and why those feelings are really coming from? Is there a bigger picture? Can we go deeper into those feelings? Where did they start? And what's one small step that we can do to work through those? Pisces is all about the arts. It's dreamy. It's getting lost in those feelings. But you never want to get too far into those feelings. You want to bring them up, dream with them, and let them go. So it's a time where we can work out these hidden feelings, right? And it's all about the arts. So how can we combine those two? We can do it through painting, singing, dancing, scrapbooking, whatever artsy projects you enjoy. You can sit with it, sit with your feelings and paint them out and see what comes up for you. This full moon, and every full moon, is all about a time of releasing. And this month we have what is known as a trine, which is 2 planets and a point. So this time we have Mars, Pluto, and the North Node. This means it's an energy that's flowing easily and can be a driving force to release resistance. So how can we work with this energy? How can we release that resistance? Well, we can be present with it. We can sit with our feelings and have a conversation with them, right? So ask yourself, ask your feelings, what are we ready to release right now? Feel what comes up and ask, why do I feel this way? Where are these feelings coming from? Is there a way to look at a bigger picture? What is hidden that needs to come up for me to see? Okay, and what is one small step that I can make towards change? So an example would be, my husband never puts away the milk, his creamer in the morning, right? So what does that bring up in me? It brings up anger. It brings up resentfulness, that I always have to do it. Why can't he do it? Why is he so lazy? So that's what it brings up in us. Now, why? Well, because I feel like I always have to do it and he's lazy. I feel, why does he never listen when I ask him to put it away and he tells me he's going to and he doesn't? So where is this coming from? Are there other areas in my life where I don't feel like people listen to me? Do I not feel heard? Do I feel ignored? And where did that feeling start? Where did it come from? Right? And what's one small step I can do to change, right? Change the cycle. I can tell him that I am no longer going to put his cream away. And if his cream goes bad and he doesn't have it for his coffee the next day, then he's the one who has to deal with the consequences, not me. Okay? So that's just an example of how we can go through and work with those why, where, or what, why, where, and what's the one small step we can do to work through and release that feeling, right? Then if you need to release the emotions that didn't move through, right? You still feel some of the anger, even though you have a small step and a plan, but you still feel some of the anger. It hasn't quite passed through you yet. With this full moon in Pisces, now is a great time for a good cry, right? Release it. Cry it out. There is nothing wrong with crying. Sometimes I tell my boys the bravest, strongest thing you can do is to cry. Work through the resistance of thinking that you can't cry or that crying is a bad thing. Crying is all about releasing. And there is nothing wrong with giving yourself self-care and doing what's needed, which sometimes is just to cry it out, right? Communicate with a loved one or a friend. Talk more about your feelings, right? They don't have to have the answers for you, but you need to work through it more. And sometimes some people need somebody else to bounce it off of or just get it out, right? So great time to do that. Even sometimes to just sit with, it is okay to not be okay, right? There are times when it's not, when you just are not okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't stay there, right? Give yourself time. Be gentle with yourself. And then when you're ready and you're in a better space, you can work through it a little more and it might just flow right on by. So you can ask yourself to go a little bit deeper, right? This is a perfect time and a perfect moon. I gotta tell you, I'm out here and the squirrels and chipmunks are all around. They're dropping nuts down from the ground. I have no idea what's coming at me. But I love being out here, so we're gonna keep going. Back to the moon. This is a perfect moon to ask yourself the questions. What does balance look like and feel like in my life? Where does my life need more balance, right? What does the phrase protecting my peace look like for you? And just sit with that. What would it feel like in your body to be at peace? Right? What does it look like? Envision a day of what a peaceful day in your life would look like. The last part of the full moon is forgiveness. And we've talked about this many times. Forgiveness is forgiving other people, other things, and especially yourself. So here are some great ways to work with forgiveness, right? You can ask yourself, what does not forgiving this person or place or thing do for me? So an example is, what does not forgiving my resistance do for me? It can make me feel like I'm earning and working hard at a goal, which makes me feel accomplished. What is one small step I can do to change that resistance? I can be still. I can breathe into it and examine it. Why am I resisting it? Why am I struggling so hard? Why do I think I have to earn my goal? And I can remind myself the small step to remind myself I don't have to fight and push hard to accomplish my goals. I just have to take one small step at a time. I don't have to leap to the finish line. I just have to take one small step at a time. And then it doesn't seem so overwhelming. So that's one way to work with your question, and you insert your answers. What's the person or the thing that you are not forgiving? And why? What is it doing for you? The next one is, how could I be kinder to myself and others? And I can start looking more at what I have done and less of putting myself down for what I haven't, and use what I've done as a positive motivation to get the rest done. You know, we have learned to use guilt and putting ourselves down to get ourselves motivated. Well, we don't have to do that. There's a new, better way, a self-care way, which is to appreciate what you have done and feel good about what you have accomplished, and use that feeling to motivate us to complete the rest, right? And lastly, can I draw a line in the sand and move on this month? So if you just can't come up with the answers, or you've just come up with one, you've done beautiful. Give yourself a round of applause. But if there's still stuff you're working on, where can you just draw the line and say, I've done the work I can do on this, I'm going to move on, and I'll come back to it later when I'm in a better place. And I can open up to more ideas to come in, right? So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you've learned the energies you can work with this month and how to work with them. So I urge you to go out tonight, sit with the beauty of the full moon and the beauty of who you are, right? Get to know you. So I wish everybody a very happy harvest moon. Thank you. Good night.